Good morning, I'm Caroline Mueller. The time is 5:59 and today's date is February 18th. Let's check in with meteorologist Ben Beddoes for a look at your forecast this morning. Ben, we've had some cool temperatures so far to start off this week. What can people expect?
Well, we're going to see more cold temperatures, but we are going to be calling for the day today. We are looking at a winter storm, though, as we get into tonight and also into Wednesday. Current temperatures out there right now, we are sitting generally into the 20s, 25 in Hazard, 22 in Jackson, 29 in Manchester. We are 26 in London, 27 in Williamsburg, 23 right now in Pikeville. We look at the satellite and radar. There are a couple snow showers trying to move into the area right now. We have a little bit of a shower right now, snow shower across parts of Wayne County over towards Monticello. Mill Springs moving into parts of southern Pulaski County and also into McCreary County as well. But really not much with this. We're not really going to see too much in terms of activity until we get into tonight. Generally, temperatures today are going to only rise to about the freezing mark. And yeah, we'll have a few snow flurries here and there, but other than that, we're going to be staying dry. Winter storm, though, again, comes tonight and Wednesday. I'll have the details about that. That's coming up.
Thanks, Ben. Much of Kentucky saw flooding issues, including in the southeastern area. One well-known man from Clay County was among the 11 people who died from the floodwaters. We are learning more about Don Nicholson from his friends in the London and Manchester areas. Phil Pendleton also spoke with people cleaning up and finding a way to move on after the devastating and deadly losses in Clay County.
Don Nicholson was driving in the Horse Creek section of Clay County when officials say that he got out of his truck and was swept away.
I just think about the big hole that's been left in the community of Manchester, and because Don and his wife reached out and impacted so many people in the community.
His friends say Nicholson was deeply devoted to his family and community.
Good people.
Mike Brewer says Nicholson always made sure that kids that did not have a place to go did with him and his late wife.
We're just a big outpouring of love, and that created a safe place for a lot of people in the community that I know and are friends with that have nothing but great things to say.
Local officials say they are still working to assess the total amount of damages, but they say that it's pretty much county-wide. The Oneida community was hit especially hard once again.
Starting over, I mean, now I'm disabled. I don't know what to do because I can't work, and my daughter's house destroyed, didn't have insurance on it, so I don't know. It's hard around here.
Many are dealing with the same flooding they experienced just a few years ago in 2021 and 2022. The Masonic Lodge was once again filled with some water and mud.
I thought it would get up here that bad, like it did before. That scared us. We knew maybe it would, but that's why we tried to prepare for it, but, still, it didn't help.
Now they simply clean up and hope for the best as they work to get back on their feet. In Clay County, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
People say they will pull together and help each other like they have done so many times in the past. Much of the state dealing with dangerous floodwaters were also hit by deadly flooding in the summer of 2022. Less than 3 years after the devastating July 2022 floods, the people of Hazard and Perry County are back to stage one of picking up the pieces after the water levels reached historic heights. Justin Campbell is calling the Denny Ray Noble Senior Citizen Center home after watching the water rise in 1984, 2022, and now 2025.
It's like you say, it started off just like any other night, and by 10 o'clock, you could hear the water in the distance. It sounded like there was a train coming constantly, and it never went away.
Many of the people lending a helping hand now in 2025 are those same people who lost everything in 2022, and they say this devastating experience is what makes them more equipped to help them along the way. Folks in Perry County were also hit hard by the flood, devastating parts of the area, including right here in Hazard. Amelia Lee was in the downtown area yesterday where cleanups are underway.
People cleaning up to get back on track after the flood damaged and destroyed more than 40 businesses in downtown Hazard.
It's hard to see everything that you work for on the sidewalk.
Sam Collins is an attorney at the law office of Deborah Lewis. He's worked in this building for 15 years. He says 5 feet of water got into the first floor, making everything on that floor a total loss.
It's hard.
And now comes the recovery process. Collins says the law office will need to be gutted, redoing the flooring and electrical. But helping hands are making the job easier.
It's great. There's been, so many people who called, texted, and said, hey, we'll be there. Then, we've had a whole bunch of people show up already and help.
Boys with the Hazard High School football team spent their day off from school cleaning out downtown businesses.
Yeah, we're sharing mud and water out of the floors and boards and stuff. We're going to tear up all the tiles and all that.
It definitely feels good. It feels like you're really helping the community, stuff like that.
With a goal to help as many people as they can.
Yeah, just know people are going to help you. If you ever need anything, just call somebody and everybody will be there. So, yeah.
Continuing to lean on one another through the toughest of times.
Historically, we've not had anybody else, so we've got each other, and we just band together and we'll get through this.
In Hazard, Amelia Lee, WYMT Mountain News.
Bell County was another part of the region that encountered heavy flooding and damages this past weekend. A man feels like his family will be in danger going forward. Larry Miracle lives in a trailer in the mountains of Pineville. He and his family received flooding and damages to their home, but thankfully no one was hurt.
I know, we need help. Somebody's gonna have to do something. Them cupboards are all stopped up.
Miracle told WYMT the culverts are blocked with sticks and debris, which caused the water to back up into their property. He expressed his concerns for future flooding and wishes the county would provide answers. Governor Beshear was in Pikeville yesterday visiting one of the areas hardest hit by flood damage. After surveying storm damage in Pikeville, the governor confirmed 11 people died because of the storms, but we now know that number has risen to 12. Most of the deaths include motor vehicle related and floodwater related deaths. During a news conference, the governor promised as much help as possible to the devastated area.
We're going to show up and make sure your families get the very best treatment that we can, and we will dig out, we will muck out, we'll rebuild every single structure that's here.
The governor said as of yesterday afternoon, more than 300 roads in the state were closed due to rock and mudslides, and a number of residents are still waiting to be taken to safety. Senate President Robert Stivers provided a statement on the flooding that happened here in Kentucky. Here is part of it, thanking first responders for their efforts. He says, quote, "I want to express my profound gratitude to the first responders, National Guards members, and local emergency crews who worked tirelessly through the weekend to rescue those in danger and keep our community members safe." He also says the destruction he witnessed is heartbreaking. Police in Wayne County also made rescues during the weekend. Here's a picture provided by the sheriff's office of a rescue on Kentucky Highway 3284. This happened at approximately 4 in the morning Sunday. Police say they retrieved a woman from her car roof after she was being swept away in high water. Rising waters in Martin County caused more than 200 people to be evacuated from 2 apartment complexes yesterday. The apartments were going to be without power for days, and the water was rising. With the parking lot also underwater, many of those people were worried about their safety. The National Guard brought in 9 helicopters and several boats to help rescue the residents.
Well, it's a very cold morning out there right now. We got temperatures that are currently sitting into the 20s and generally seeing those cloudy skies out there at the moment. You can see the numbers right now: 25 in Hazard, 22 in Jackson, 27 for Boonville, 29 in Manchester, 26 in London, and 30 degrees right now in Harlan. We look at the satellite radar. We do have a couple snow flurries here and there. One moving across right now, Wayne County towards Monticello and also towards the Mill Springs area. That's where we're seeing at least a little bit of activity. And then we look at our forecast for today, the next 12 hours. And generally what we're going to see is temperatures only rising to about the freezing mark, generally seeing cloudy skies, and also the chance of a couple flurries here and there.
All right, thank you, Ben, and thank you for joining Mountain News this morning. More news is on the way. Federal cuts are beginning to hit home as some workers in the Commonwealth lose their jobs.